Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being with us this morning. We are going to welcome Tia Richardson with us this morning. She is here to share her extraordinary calling to build community through coming together in dialogue and sharing and creativity. Tia's been recognized internationally through the Swiss and German national radio interviews. She has been doing a lot of work in Milwaukee and has a mural in the courtyard of the Milwaukee Black Holocaust Museum. She also is working through local communities here in Milwaukee, and she'll explain her process and results. I just want to mention that we have enjoyed her company at the youth program through our RE program a bit ago, maybe a year or two, and she helped the group in RE to come together, form community, and they created a mural in the lower level of church. So when we can get back to church, take a look downstairs near the elevator. There's a mural there. So I am very pleased to welcome Tia Richardson this morning. Thank you, Tia.
Thank you, Lorraine. Thank you, Lorraine.
You're welcome.
I'm really happy to be here with you guys. I had a great experience working with the youth group a couple years ago, and sharing my process with them, and seeing their enthusiasm at trying something new. Not everyone's an artist, but that's the fun of it for me. The joy is bringing these opportunities for people to share themselves in a way that maybe they hadn't had the chance to before. And so one of the ways that I have found it really helpful to share my work with people is through film. Talking about these things, what I do, how I do it as an artist. Um, Over the years, I have found it sometimes hard to explain. And one of the new things that I've discovered over the last couple of years has been film. And I hired a couple filmmakers for two of my projects, or now three of my projects, to actually show people what I do. Um, I've been a community mural artist for about 13 years now in Milwaukee. I started out working with youth through kids' school programs, partnering with nonprofits around the city that contract artists through residency programs. And so I've built up, my experience through trial and error. Not a lot of formal education in what I do, but it's all been an experiment at trying to bring people together and create a sense of unity that I feel we need right now, and not just now, but throughout our whole society. Um, um, to support our humanity. So that's been something been striving for as an artist. Um, so the first thing I thought I would share with you guys to introduce my work is a film, and it shows a project that I did for the first time outside of Milwaukee in Rockford, Illinois, and I worked with Tony McLaughlin, who's a filmmaker down in Rockford. Her and then Neil Bloom videoed everything, documented the entire process, and I produced it. So I'm just wrapping up the film as we speak, working with a local musician to Milwaukee, getting that all done. It'll screen in February at the Beloit International Film Festival. So you guys are the second screening. You guys, this is the second
Oh,
time that it has been viewed. So um, with that, I will share my screen, and we're going to watch the film. And then after that, I'll have a few more words to share, some more examples, and then there'll be questions at the end of my presentation that I'll answer. And then from what I understand, it'll be opened up. So sound good? All right. So And let me know if there's any, if you can't hear it, or see anything. From day one, I didn't know how I was going to get this done, but I was in it for the experience. It was a journey.
Able to bring everyone to the table, you know, from the most powerful to the least powerful, from, you know, people that have homes and people who are walking around without homes, to be able to bring together everyone. All of Rockford, wherever it is that you live, we love you, we think your voice matters, and we want you to participate in the community conversation.
One of the major challenges was having to do this Kickstarter. I had never raised money before, and the thought of asking people for money was really scary. I didn't believe they would pay for something like this. When I started talking to people and driving all around town, and just seeing people's interest, once I started telling them about the project and how they could be a part of it, seeing their enthusiasm, and I felt a little bit like, you know, I started to feel maybe this could work.
We will be able to get people from all across Rockford to come to this location to participate in these dreaming sessions where people get to imagine a future that is different than the present. And then Tia takes these sketches, these ideas, and makes this beautiful art that we all get to participate in. I'm looking forward to it.
I am working for you. You're the community. I'm here in service for you. And I want you to hold me to that. There's areas that feel more isolated. There's areas that feel pretty great. And to me, that's okay. To me, that represents the life, the life in the city. So my work is, I want to break down those walls of isolation.
I think murals are important because, well, for a lot of reasons. This specifically because it makes people own the neighborhood and feel like the neighborhood is cared about.
What you have here is on the bottom, you have the heavier stuff, the sort of the gritty stuff, the concrete stuff, the life here on the bottom. And when your eye moves up, what do you notice about how you feel?
It's brighter.
It gets brighter. That's psychological. So that's what I'm gonna do with the art. And so we start with the challenge and we have to move forward. So whatever's here will be the transition. So what would be a challenge we'd like to start with? Just pop it out there. We're gonna go bam, bam, bam.
Misunderstanding.
Lack of unity.
Lack of unity. Go ahead.
Inequity.
Okay.
The river is a divide. It's a physical
The river divides.
It cuts the town right to down.
Complacency. What would be one thing that's needed to help increase a person's sense of that their willingness to try?
More hope. Faith in each other.
We gotta see the transition.
We need to see the
sky.
transition and how we can initiate that transition. Right, like right now, you guys are at an opportunity to say how you want the next phase to happen.
I love the river because it's right there.
Yeah. So
It's literally where the two sides, pretty much all the rock meets.
Maybe hands holding up. We're doing challenges. And there's some street performers and people are, you know, there's saxophone players and musicians and there's festivals going.
So the happy hands are holding up the road so people are walking across the divide.
We're coming together where we started with a small part and we expanded and got bigger and we're all coming together and celebrating. That's what it looks like. I want some too.
picture close up.
I love it.
We start with what is symbolically represented by the clouds and the darkness. The river itself, in my mind, is a symbol of the city as a whole and the psyche of the city reaching for something better.
Yeah, I love it. I love all of the water. I love the way the water grounds it, because I think you're right. The river grounds us here.
The river, to me, is the divine.
Yeah.
The baptism, as one says.
That's
Water.
Jordan River.
Yeah, it just stands for so many things, and I agree. I love the way it reaches out.
Water's so cool. The wings are popping out to me as well. I know we had talked beforehand about not using any religious imagery.
So this is like an archetype of the future. It's the beyond the now. It's bigger. It communicates this bigger sense, and you don't see it right away.
So that's why the wings are that large.
That's why they're that large, and it could be a stork. I have this big angel that came to me in a vision for this art piece, and it was the center image. I drew the angel with 3 heads to show it was bowing in my vision to the future of Rockford that's coming, but it didn't come across well. And I thought it was really powerful. I don't want to do a bird. I just offered that out of desperation so they could have something. I thought it was dumb.
I think that the theology of angels is problematic.
I mean, who turns down an angel?
And you've got it in here twice, so that would be the one thing that I would push on.
I was shocked that they didn't accept the angel. Now what am I gonna do? We get to the community paint days, and there's this empty gym. When I saw all those panels laid out, I'm wondering, where's everybody? How is this gonna get done? I needed help from the community to paint the background. People weren't coming out. So I reached out around town to some local businesses, some schools, pleading with them to take some of the panels. I even offered to bring them the panels. At that moment, I was afraid I couldn't get it done.
And I won't go too close to the green.
So what I have to be doing is mixing. I'll be mixing like 3 different blues together to get water depth and some purple in there. Yeah. You're welcome. Thank you. So there's gonna be like 3 or 4 layers when this is all done.
So don't worry so much about it.
I found out they thought what they were painting would be going up on the wall. It would be their art. And when they found out I'd be going over and doing some touch-ups, because they saw one of the panels that I did and they put it up in front of everybody, in front of the whole congregation one Sunday. As soon as I saw what it would look like after I had painted on the panels, then they wanted to be involved. They wanted to get their hands in it and paint. And more started coming out, and they just kept coming and coming.
That right in the center there. It just wakes everything up.
And they kept coming back. Seeing all those people, that really gets me. It was like a dream come true. Everything was getting done so fast, I could hardly keep up with them. And I started getting calls back from some of the places who wanted me to bring panels to them.
Tia does to it, however she pretties it up, I'm still gonna walk by and it's my grass, it's the lawn that I helped put.
Last week when I'd come from work, I'd be really tired, and as soon as I started painting, and the same thing happened today, I didn't feel tired, and I felt energized.
They came just to be a part of it. It didn't have to look like their art. That's the funny thing. To me, that's what community art is about. It's just about the journey, it's about the experience, and discovering something new.
Something for like the future.
This is something that I've never done before. It's the first time painting as far as painting a mural. But like, I feel like it's very therapeutic.
If I ever would become an art teacher, then I would have a lot of experience out of what I'm doing right here. It's teaching me a lot. How to paint, how to make sure that there's no white spaces, how to stroke your brush.
Yeah, now here, may I hold your hand here and show you how I would paint with the brush? I saw you maybe pushing the brush. The hairs don't really like it when you push it, so we're just gonna always pull.
I'm so sorry.
It just makes me feel, I don't know, feel good, I'll say. Yeah, it just brings out the good in me.
The meaning of it. The meaning of it is the greatest thing. It's like going from past, present to future. Bringing the community together is my dream come true. It's knowing that we're doing something for years to come.
It's all gonna be part of the grass and the sky.
I think that's water and the sky, making friends.
I have a farmer's background, and so really what really speaks to me is the flowers and the colors and the nature that's involved, and then just all the symbolism of the birds and collectively, you know, the people, all kinds of people, right? Because we wanna embrace this idea that we're all part of one human family.
It's been so fun. I feel like I've just learned like so much about art, but also just with the whole community coming in, it's been so cool getting to interact with people and learn in that way.
There aren't that many opportunities for people to participate as part of something bigger. That's why I want to give everyone who wants to be a part of this a chance.
Nice meeting you.
Good to meet you too. Take care. He's just having fun, good Delbert.
Oh, okay.
She painted a lot. She painted all that.
I did, and they got covered up.
It's about completing something. And when you sit down with a canvas and there's nothing on it, and you actually form a picture, or even if it's not even a picture, just the different colors and how they blend together, it's a completing a thought. That in itself is just art. You know, it's a beautiful thing. It's making something beautiful, being part of it, and being able to share it with others. There's nothing like it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I think it might be here. Because that's a bowl.
Oh. Sharing.
Maybe they're rebuilding the house, which
like a cheerleader.
We're finally coming to end of an era where people must come together without any other differences.
You know, this is a case where you let citizens have that input, and you said, give me what your thoughts are. Just so many pieces in here that when one looks can actually, someone can say that's a part of me, and so it's very powerful. It's really powerful.
It's a movement. You know, being able to see the mural, you know, you can like kind of like give yourself a portrait of the change that you want. You know, everybody coming together. You know, things actually happening. Especially different variant type of people that's actually putting their hands in it. You know, and I love the hands. You know, with the bridges. You know, it's about us lifting each other up and actually carrying, you know, each other and ourselves. Yeah, it's more than visual. You know, it's art. We are art. You know, everyone has their place in it. So, oh yeah. Yep, getting goosebumps just. Mm-hmm.
I see a wonderland. That's what I see. Right over there.
Yeah.
All the people joining together.
This is the first time I have been able to come down to see the mural, and I don't even have words to describe how I'm feeling about it.
This one over here, with the lady swimming, that's what I like. That's a sign of survival, help. She seems like she's gasping or reaching for help.
You see everything that you want to see in any community, let alone Rockford. All with so many things that mean so much to us. If it's a theater or an airplane, all being tied into this to show us that, yeah, there are different aspects that we all love, but when we work together, they do create something pretty beautiful.
The color kinds of bring it out more, and you know what I mean. You know, I just like what I see. You know.
When I see this mural, I think of all the love and understanding that T has brought out in our community. She had 5 to 6 meetings with people in the community, and out of that came the inspiration for this mural. The mural shows love, understanding, and a place that we all need to go.
It just flows so evenly, and every time I drive by here, I take a look at it. It's an eye catcher for sure, and it shows unity with different nationalities coming together, and that gives me hope.
The fact that we're showing people talking to each other, working together, learning from each other.
And the children, you have a child here, you know. If there's anybody that we should be changing Rockford for, having hope for in this city, it should be our children, it should be the youth. And I know they're watching, they're part of the change.
Well, what I see in the mural is love. And I see love from all the way from the one side all the way to the other.
Well, you know what? I love children, love them. And you know, and to see the children there with the love, the young, well, I guess maybe it's a father, the young man reading to them, and their smiles, and you see the comfort, you see the support, you know, I mean the hope, and I, you know, I just love it. And I see here, hoping is happiness. We have a chance. We're gonna go ahead and reach it if we all stand together and do the things that we need to do. You know, we're stronger together as opposed to trying to do it individually.
What I really like about this, and that I've had several people in the neighborhood talk to me about, is they come through and they say, like the group that did the heart with the people, you know, they remember drawing that on the sketch pad, and they're so excited to see it up there. It's just little bits and pieces that come together.
it looks nice, you know. Shows what paradise can possibly be when all colors of people can be together. Also, it shows happiness and everybody is treating each other the same. Equality. You know, a little taste of heaven, with imagination. I like that.
I think one of the coolest parts about this is that it just changes the tenor of these blocks. There are hard things happening right around here, but this mural just projects joy.
Anything other than that?
For blocks around.
I love this. This is ridiculous. This is beautiful. This bird here, I mean, the colors on it are just gorgeous. And maybe it's because I can see some of the wings back on the panels there, but it's striking.
Along the way, I started to notice that I had to change as the journey changed. And the art changed because of that, and it became better. The art actually got better because of the journey and because of those conversations. So now when I look at it, I see something way better than it was even in my original. I love the stork now. It's actually one of my favorite things. One of the most beautiful things about this process was those changes. They were hard at the time, but when I look back on it now and just see the beauty that came out of that, it surprises me. That's what the beauty of this is to me.
What we hoped and dreamed came true is that we would be able to pull together a project, obviously after leaving, that dreamed of a Rockford future that's different than the present. And here it is. It's right here in full, beautiful color, representing all of the diversity of our city and all of our hopes and dreams. It's on the wall. And so if only we could be what this wall tells us to do.
Community is a sense of trust and an assumption of goodwill in each other that we'll each fulfill our roles.
It takes a village, it really does. To birth something this big, it takes a village.
The beauty of this project is it's not just something to strive for in the future. We're already doing it. With all the difficulties that community art is, this is why I do it. Okay, so So now, I guess, you can still see my screen, I suppose, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to get a time check because I had a few, slides that I could show, but depending on the time, we could go right into a Q&A. What do we want to?
I think we're fine with the slides.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just before I go into that, just coming off this film and just wanting to say that that was that experience taught me a lot working in Rockford with their community about my own expectations. It's, let's see, I just want to go to here's the picture of the whole mural there. I had asked them to share their honest ideas and thinking my idea is better than theirs. You can see in the film, but it's been the story of my life, is like understanding my own limited expectations of people. And the beauty in seeing them light up when they're asked to share, when they can feel heard, seen, and acknowledged. We saw that in the workshops during this film. So that right there, how they light up and how they come to participate, it is what taught me a lot looking back on it after the fact. So from my experience working with people from all backgrounds who have no experience in art necessarily, and how they're able to share themselves in a way that can create such beauty, it's evidence to me that we all have equal value without exception for something much more essential than maybe we would give it credit or would expect. And to me, what that is this raw life moving through us as human beings. That right there, to me, is our most precious resource. It's where we find our potential, and it's where our ability to create something from nothing comes from. So I want to go to
We don't see the slides.
right now. You can't see my screen.
No,
Right.
we're just seeing, no, we're not seeing any slides.
You just see me.
Yep.
Oh, so then you didn't.
Oh, we're seeing a screen, but it's not slides.
Okay, well, I want you to see the picture of the Rockford mural right now.
Yeah.
Do you see that, or you just see me?
No, we're just seeing you.
Oh, okay. Well, let me stop the share and start.
Yeah, start over, yeah.
Okay, well, we're gonna go. Well, that's okay. We'll just go to the slide, even though you didn't see.
Yeah.
We were looking at this just a minute ago. Now we're going to go to. Can you see the Rockford mural?
Not
Oh,
large.
see, it's only gonna share. Oh, it's not gonna show me navigating around my desktop, so I have to go to exactly the thing I want. Okay, I see. So let's do that. So I'm gonna share my screen again, and we're gonna go to this. How about now?
Great.
Yes.
Okay. So in this picture, it's called The Gift of Love. This is a mother showing respect to a young child by caring about her mental and emotional well-being around her culture. There's a sense of appreciation, respect, and acceptance. These three elements are what love is to me. This piece is called The Gift of Love. And I did it when I was 15 as part of an NAACP AXO high school art competition. That it's on the December cover of Umoja magazine now, this year, December 2020, that prints out of Madison. And so here it's, the girl accepts the mother's teaching and appreciates the history and accepts it as part of who she is. There's this mutual exchange going on. And that mutual caring creates the beauty that I feel in this piece. And this has been something I'm trying to create and learn as a community artist, is how to better appreciate, accept, and respect people. This mural is called Sherman Park Rising. So my long-term vision is to see those three elements become common in our society: respect, appreciation, and acceptance. Because as human beings, we all have the same basic needs. We're familiar with the most physical ones like food, shelter, and clothing, but we all have mutual mental and emotional needs in common too, like the need to belong to something bigger than ourselves, whether that's a social group or family or community or society. It's wanting more of a common appreciation for what our unique perspectives as individuals can offer to that larger whole. That's why I do the workshops, is to offer people that chance to share and practicing acceptance for who and what we are as human beings. That's part of my journey as a community artist, because I have found working with people, when people feel that, they're more willing to want to work together despite our differences, when they can feel those things. And I want to draw that out. I want to draw our differences together, honor them, so we can create something even better from it. I'm still learning and I'm no expert at it. But what I have found is the creative process helps weave those together. We can see that in this vision of Sherman Park Rising, where more than 150 people went through the same process we saw in the film. And this was created back in 2017. There is a film on this as well. That is on my website. And I think the link will be shared hopefully on the YouTube channel, where you can watch that film if you like. So, and there's also a GoFundMe for this mural. You can see there's a hole at the top left. It needed roof repair really badly, which caused water damage. And so there's a GoFundMe. That link, I believe, will be shared to cover the cost of roof repair and some touch-ups that need to be done in the spring. So I'm experimenting with people in my art to see what works and what doesn't. And people get to experience that along with me when they share their ideas. So I keep being reminded that it's making that effort. It's trying that matters. It's not about the end result turning out how I originally thought it needed to be. Again, here's a picture of that mutual sharing. The well-being of the community is important for the well-being of police and who are entrusted to protect that community. The well-being of authority and police is important in order for the community to have its well-being. It's all interdependent. We're all connected. So showing that mutuality going on, that mutual cooperation again here with the balance of roles and the reciprocity, and structurally how that can show up, what that looks like. So this is one vision of the future that I believe is needed in our society. It's that working together and shared values. This mural was commissioned by the Biden-Harris campaign back in late October. I got this commission, so I had 3 weeks to do it. And it was an honor. They reached out to me and 7 other artists around the nation and swing states to do murals, encouraging voters of color, particularly Black voters, to vote. And when I talk about unity, it's that every human being has that need to belong, to express themselves as part of something bigger. And we're seeing that urge rise up today, and the demand for better equity, racially and socially. It's one of the things I appreciate about what's happening right now, and despite all the suffering, is maybe we as a society can start thinking about appreciating, respecting, and accepting that raw life for what it is moving through us as human beings. From my perspective, that raw life is where our potential comes from, to create something from nothing. It's our most precious commodity, our most precious resource. And we're harnessing that when we come together to create a mural. We start with a blank wall, that's the nothing. When we start thinking about what we want to see on that wall, people are getting to use their imagination. That imagination is where we start to draw on that raw material, that invisible potential coming from the life in us as human beings. Equity is each person having the chance to participate and contribute to the whole, so that the whole, or the system, or the community can better reflect the parts that make it up. So I'm trying to create a sense of unity through my work, a vision of that we can, move towards together. And what I'm finding is it's an attitude. Unity is an attitude. We're united as human beings, and we're all part of one human family. And now I'm going to stop my share. And that's the end of my presentation. So I want to thank you all for watching and your attention, and I welcome your questions right now.
Yes, there's nothing in the chat, so we can now, people can unmute themselves and ask anything they want.
Just a comment.
Hi, Tia. This is Bruce Wiggins. Glad to see you and glad to hear about your process. I found your mural. I think we're fortunate to be over near your mural, near the Black Holocaust Museum. We go by that and certainly appreciate your work there, as well as with our church youth. Question I wanted to ask is why you think maybe now we're seeing so many murals across the city? We've seen a real proliferation of murals across the city. Why now, do you think?
Well, from my humble opinion, the sheer willingness of people to show up and be a part of a mural, from my experience, and going back to how much they light up. At first, it's always, oh, I could never do that, or they expect me to do most of it, and they don't want to mess it up. But there's this joy that comes from that. I think is natural to human beings. Creativity is a natural part of our nature, and we are a part of nature. It goes back to that being a part of who we are, as far as like our raw life wanting to express itself as human beings. And so creativity as a society has been a certain thing in a historical and traditional way. So what I'm doing through community art, by involving people in it, asking them to be part of it, express themselves. I suspect as a society, we're starting to wake up more to that opportunity as a natural response to life, how art can move people. It not only can bring awareness to certain things and educate in a new way. One of the things I've started out as a community artist was in the school and using art as a resource to enhance education and learning. So we see that in a lot of the art now, as far as wanting to raise awareness and educate people. More fundamentally for me, art has been a way to tap into that natural urge to experience something. We as human beings naturally learn through experience. So I'm more interested in the experience that we have through art as a creative process than about any one theory and telling people what they should think or believe through the art. I'm interested in offering people a chance to experience something for themselves and make their own meaning from that. So I think we're touching on, as a society, on the power of art and beauty. It can connect us.
And maybe the need more for it now, since George Floyd's killing and murder, and maybe we just need that.
Well, absolutely. It's pointing to that fundamental humanity. It's reaching that. From my experience, when I talk about feeling moved, it's an experience. It's not a theory that we're all one. How can we know how to respect human life if we don't know what that feels like? So who's going to demonstrate that? Who's gonna demonstrate what common respect is, what common appreciation and mutual acceptance of who and what we are as human beings is? We need an experience, we need an avenue to actually experience that and work together. And so for me, it's been that process, of involving people so that it becomes real and not a theory anymore, that this is what we need to do. This is our ideal that we need to strive for, equality and everybody's equal. So I think we're learning as a society how to value human life. And I say that because maybe we need to think about that. We haven't gotten there yet. As far as we've come and as much as we think we understand, when we look at our actual experiences in life, how many of us can say like we actually feel those things on a day-to-day basis from our brothers and sisters, a sense of common respect, common appreciation, common, belonging and acceptance on a basic level. So I think the conversation around policing also, it goes back to what is common respect for human life. Like, we're not even just talking about something super abstract. I think as a nation, we are having conversations about these basic principles, which again, I want to see these become part of our fabric of society. And the best way that I have found to do that is through actual experiences working with each other towards something.
Thank you.
Tia, would you want to highlight your website in the chat and also the GoFundMe?
Yes, so I am putting those in the chat now.
Yeah, they're already there.
They're already there. So you can go to those links. The GoFundMe is its own page. You can also go to GoFundMe directly and type in "Save the Sherman Park Mural," and that should come up. Looking for donations. No amount is too small or too big to help us reach our goal. And then my website has these projects on there, as well as other projects, news articles, magazines I've been featured in. Gives you a little bit closer look at some of the other projects. I'm really curious on anyone's reaction to the film, being this was the second audience that got to see it.
Hi,
Fantastic. Hi.
Barbara Lee.
Hi, Barbara Lee. Good to see you.
It was so exciting to see you and the amazing progress and the cosmic work that you're doing in our community. Really love it. And the film just brings out so much of exactly what you're talking about. It's totally inspiring. It reminds me, we did the All City People's Parade and very much that same process. And it's just so empowering to have people get together and really talk about what the issues are and then transform them into something that they can see and they can do something about. It's just, thank you so much. We just really, really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you. And a shout out to Milwaukee Public Theater was one of my first avenues into community art. So
yes.
Thank you, Barbara.
Cool.
Any other questions on the film or your experience of my
I
presentation?
just was amazed at how many people came out and helped with painting and the different generation, ages, variety of people that came. It's very inspiring to see that. It's huge. It's huge,
yeah.
you know, because when I came and saw how big each panel is, it's amazing what work you did.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. And that was part of my dilemma too, is, okay, well, how can we have a real sense of that we're coming together if the panels are going out to different places in the city? So it wasn't my ideal. I wanted, me and the church wanted everybody to come to one place and have that experience together. And what I found was it didn't matter. People wanted to be a part of it, whether they were in one place or not. And it still had that sense of, it still had that bigger sense when it was all put together. So that again, I had a different expectation in the beginning, and then it showed me that it didn't have to be like that when we're all said and done.
Well, as you're talking about that and we're doing this by video and you have the quilt behind you, and I myself am having anxiety with COVID and being alone, I'm almost feeling as if it would be really cool to have people create something of their own at home and bring it together and make a quilt that represents how we're feeling now. And we can look back at it when a new change comes after this. Some kind of an art piece that we can just kind of get out the emotions of being isolated right now and put it somewhere. I think that would be really kind of cool. I don't know how that could be done. Like to invite people to paint on a certain surface that could be blended.
Well, art is a great unifier, because one thing we all like to do, at least that I have found, is everybody express our opinions, our ideas, our feelings as a way to heal, and just putting those out onto another surface, you know. So like, you know, you saw it in the film, people do, just getting it outside of our own body by, you know, using our hands or our voice, put it on something else.
Yeah, we were starting a weaving at our church where we could each weave, and then it was getting pretty big, and that was nice for everybody to just be able to put a little bit into it.
Yeah, it's a sounding board, because we all are parts of a bigger whole. So when we can see that in a piece of community art, it's a reminder. But when we were a part of making that, it's not theory anymore. This was real. This really happened. This is how I feel about it. And that experience is so important to me. That's the one element I feel I want to highlight in our society is our actual experiences with each other. And we know when we talk about race, that the more we have experiences with each other, people who are different from us with different perspectives, and sharing, mutual sharing, that it increases those things I talked about, that sense of respect and mutual appreciation. So we need, I think as human beings, we need those spaces. And that's what I'm trying to do as a community artist. There's lots of different spaces that people are starting to recognize and create for themselves and for their communities where people can just share together. So really that's what this is. Lorraine, did you have a question or?
I was just had a comment and about the film. I really liked the way you showed the difficulty that people had in being part of the process too, and how they didn't come together right away to take part and were shy about doing that. They didn't all speak when the gathering was. I thought it was great that you showed that this is not an easy process. It's not just all, glorious and happy. It was very challenging, but people stuck with it. And they didn't even like your angel, but you kept coming back. Yeah, I thought it was very well done in that respect too, a balanced view of the process.
Thank you. Yeah, because I want to show people my struggle and how if I'm asking people to cooperate together, I need to be able to demonstrate that. And that's my role as a community artist, is to demonstrate the very thing that I want people to do. But it wasn't easy because I thought my idea was the idea. And I also, I needed their, their participation, but I think, and that was that would have been a breaking point if I hadn't have accepted their idea. The whole project wouldn't have happened. I'm pretty sure it wouldn't have been what it was. And so, I think it just goes back to that, is giving up my own sense of what I think is right for the greater good and for the sake of a sense of togetherness in this. I'm going to give up what I think it should be. Because, granted, when I look back at it, at least 80% of the rest of it was something that I liked. So if I have this, 20% that is not what I think it should be, well, that's what a community is. So that was a learning curve for me. That was hard. That was not easy for me. So
I think it showed a real level of trust, though, too, in the community. They could talk to you about what they really did want, and as opposed to what you were saying. So that was intense on their part too.
And I assured them, I said, I'm here in service for you. And that's part of the attitude of unity. That's the attitude I'm learning. I'm here for you. I'm giving you respect. I'm respecting your different perspectives, even though they may not agree or be in line with my own. I'm also appreciating that you're willing to share. And I'm also accepting whatever those perspectives may be. And so that has given them a chance to a sense of like they can be free to share, and they're much more willing to step into it then. So that's part of the trick, if you want to call it that, as we talk about coming together. Yeah, it's not easy, but if we're willing to maybe take on some of those attitudes, it actually is pretty easy. It works. It's just the attitude is like the hardest thing. Hi, Deborah.
Hi.
Good.
Hi,
How are you?
Tia, I have a couple of questions. I know where your murals are, and I know where this piece is because I own it, the one that you first showed, The Gift of Love. But I don't know where your piece that was commissioned by the Biden-Harris campaign is. And then my second one is, are you going to be doing something in Milwaukee soon, or maybe in the spring or summer when this horrible pandemic has passed us by? Because I sure would like to participate.
Oh yeah, that's great. Thank you. So for everybody, Deborah is my first art patron. She bought that piece when I was 15, and let me scan it for the magazine cover recently. So that piece was like my baby, you know. So Deborah, she knows. I want to thank you for that. And the Biden Harris mural is on Villard and 35th Street. I don't know the exact address, so it's in the 5300 block of North 35th Street.
Okay.
On the side of it's a business called Posh Medics.
Okay.
And in the spring, we want to ship it back to Washington so they can put it somewhere. I've been asked. We don't know where yet. So it's a temporary. It's a banner. Yeah, it's here now. You can go see it, but it's on vinyl because the whole idea was that it can be moved around.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So it's on a banner. And as far as doing anything here in Milwaukee, I'm working on a contract right now for the spring that hasn't come through yet. You know, it can take a long time sometimes, these things. In fact, Rockford took 2.5 years to go from idea to fundraising because it went through a couple hiccups with funding that didn't work out. So I'm in the process now of hoping something comes through for the spring here in Milwaukee. That'll be pretty big. And if you want to stay updated, on my website, I have an email list that I put out, you know, updates about my work. Usually it's only once or twice a year, but these projects have gotten bigger for me every year. And sometimes I need volunteer help. Sometimes I'm looking for artists. And usually with those community projects, the invitation like goes out to a specific group because they're handled by a community partner, like an organization, like with Sherman Park Mural, that was Safe and Sound. So I would say, yeah, email is the best way because I'll forget as time goes on that I'm juggling a lot of different things. I try to keep it in mind, Deborah, for you specifically in the spring, but
I'll check your website.
Yeah, because you know it's kind of with people coming out to paint and we schedule it. I think the Sherman Park mural was the one where we put out a public press release for people, and when you see those press releases and they're public, like that means come. Because I can't always like put it on my website or, you know, send it out to my email list because those are people from like all over.
Okay, I think at this time, maybe one last question and then we should wrap this up.
Okay.
There is a question on the chat in case something. Okay.
Are other artists that have inspired you? Yes. In 2014, I got to meet Lily Ye, who is based in Philadelphia. She's Chinese American, and she was the first community artist I literally ever met. I didn't know what community art was before I met her. I didn't know that I was already doing community art before 2014 until I met her, because I saw what art could do in terms of healing working specifically around areas of community trauma, and that was her work had done in other parts of the world, like Rwanda. So I saw that as what I want my work to do, as far as be able to move people in that way, and it took me up a notch. Like I had to. It made me really get in touch more, I think, with what I wanted for my own art to do. Okay. There's others, but I can't like.
Okay, I think this is a good time to end. Lorraine, do you want to say anything more about when our next forum is?
Oh, I don't have that in front of me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, January 3rd, we resume, right?
January 3rd. And that'll be with Julie Enslow, who'll speak about Milwaukee and the combination of nuclear war and global warming. She's working on both of those issues.
Okay.
Did I kind of catch it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tia, let me ask. I'm looking.
Uh-oh.
What?
I'm not seeing the place to make a donation for Sherman Park. Is it a GoFundMe or?
Yes,
It's in the chat.
It is a GoFundMe. It's in the chat. I'm putting it in there again, but I believe the hosts have to put it up on the YouTube channel for everybody to see it.
There it is, Bruce.
Yeah, I see it. I see it now.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, I'll leave this up here for a little bit, but I'm